Are we seeing any reaction from those people who took the stand, especially in the Commonwealth's case?
Yeah, that's a great point, too, because I was also looking for them at the courthouse when, this verdict was imminent. Last year, trial number 1, 2024, we saw some of the key witnesses in the gallery. And remember, they sat with the O'Keefe family, and from where they sit in the gallery, they face the jury directly. And we saw last year it was Kerry Roberts and the McCabes and a lot of these key witnesses, Brian Higgins, they were in the gallery. We didn't see that this year. But some of the family members and some of these former witnesses did release a joint statement. Let's put that on your screen for you, and I'll read it for you. This is from the McCabes and the Albert families. This is their statement to Court TV. Today, our hearts are with John and the entire O'Keefe family. They have suffered through so much and deserved better from the justice system. While we may have more to say in the future, today we mourn with John's family and lament the cruel reality that this prosecution was infected with lies and conspiracy theories spread by Karen Reed, her defense team, and some of the media. The result is devastating miscarriage of justice. Obviously, that is their point of view. Remember, it has been a long process for everybody involved, a painful one, but no more, obviously for the O'Keefe family, but this entire community that has been torn apart by this.
Oh, yeah, Matt. And you've been there for so much of it. I know we have to say goodbye to you. I would say get some rest, but I have a feeling you're still going to be tracking some things down for us. So thank you so much for everything. Let's bring in our guests who are standing by to talk about this monumental finding yesterday. We have attorneys who are no strangers to trial strategy and walking with clients through difficult cases, perhaps like this one. We have Eric Bland, John Phillips, and Michael J. Brown with us. Thank you so much for joining this morning. Eric, let me start with you. I just want your reaction to free Karen Reed being a reality.
Well, obviously, it's a jury verdict that was the shot around the world. You're either in the Karen Reed camp or you're in the O'Keefe camp. There really wasn't a middle. And what, the statement that was just read forgets that there were 12 jurors with 24 eyes and 24 years that listened and watched, and they made a thoughtful decision. They obviously deliberated for 3.5 days. And I think the defense was very smart in focusing on reasonable doubt on all different pieces of evidence, whether it was the site of the debris, whether it was the potential dog bite on the arm, whether it was some of the testimony given by Jennifer McCabe and Higgins. I think they got away from the corruption of the police investigation from the first trial. It just was really good lawyering on the part of the defense. And, it was a robust trial, and 12 jurors felt that there was significant reasonable doubt. Now, the prosecution thinks that maybe there was doubt, but it wasn't reasonable. But that's what makes trials.
John Phillips, what did you think about the bit of a mixed verdict in terms of not guilty on everything that the Commonwealth charged her with as far as top counts, but they came back with that lesser of driving while under the influence that the defense wanted on the verdict form, but it was the only charge on that form that had nothing to do with a collision between John O'Keefe and Karen Reed's vehicle. Your thoughts on them speaking loudly with that decision?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty clear that the state had 2 chances to convict and failed both times. The defense has a definite advantage the second time because they've seen the state's case, or the Commonwealth's case in this case, and I think and you got to look back at the questions and kind of how the jury was teetering here. But, I almost think it was like the slightest little bit of compromised verdict. Like they didn't want to completely say Karen Reed did nothing wrong, but they had that. Look, what we've dealt with and what we're going to try to move on from was like one of the classic dopamine hits for trials. We had, cop cover-ups. We had an attractive criminal defendant charged with murder. We had, relationship tension, all of the things that made this so sensational. And guess what? Now we have the civil case.
Michael J. Brown, what's your reaction to the verdict, the way that it came down, and really the way that this jury took their time? And there was a moment where we thought we had a false verdict and then came back and they actually had a verdict.
Yeah, well, I think it was the right verdict in the sense that they have failed to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, Julie, and that's the standard. And they didn't do it the first go round. And by the way, Hank Brennan, I think, did a great job. And strategically, he left out certain witnesses which were to his advantage. Granted, they didn't get the conviction, but not putting Proctor on, not putting some of the people in that house on, didn't give the ability for the defense to cross-examine them. And they weren't going to call him on their own. So I think he did everything he could have done. On the flip side, Jackson is a real skilled attorney. He did a great job. He created reasonable doubt and hit all the points he needed to hit. And yeah, the jury deliberated. They took their time. That's evident by the 3+ days they took. And you know, justice was served. This is how our system works.